Hi, my name's Ash, and you're watching Ash X Hours. Is that a good intro? Anyways, hi, my name is Ash, and this channel exists because I make terrible decisions, and I need to talk about them with somebody. And everybody really loves how I tell my stories, and when I tell my stories, because they're just so horrific. They are just so horrifically, some of the stories that I tell are like, why? Why did you, what was going through your head when you were doing any of this? And I'm like,
nothing.
Anyways, this is how I met my ex on Wizz, and everything went downhill. So this story starts with me downloading Wizz, and if you guys know what Wizz is, shame on you. I'm kidding. If you don't know what Wizz is, it's basically an app where you can meet and talk to strangers your age and that's in your area. People just go on there if they're bored or if they need an ego boost, because half the time the people on there are looking for relationships. They're not looking for no wholesome friendships. So if you were looking for a friendship, that's not the place to go. Okay? Now, me being me, I needed an ego boost because I was feeling quite chopped at the time, which I wasn't. I don't think I was. I felt chopped, and I had no huzz. A little context before all of this. Number one, I had never been in a real in-person relationship before. Now, that is a slight lie, because I did have a relationship with somebody else at one point in person, but it lasted like 3 weeks, and I never ended up actually liking them. So, anyways, this all started Christmas 2024. So, I was quite bored. I was really bored. I was looking for something to do, someone to talk to. I wanted some huzz. I wanted some crazy huzz, I literally did nothing at this time period of my life. At this point in my life, I did nothing. I didn't go anywhere. I didn't hang out with anybody. I didn't do anything. I was quite the loser. I was chronically on mine. And that says a lot in itself. So you can imagine what I was doing on Wizz. You can totally imagine what I was doing on Wizz. So, anyways, it was like a random freaking night. I think it was the 26th, I believe we started talking. I was just scrolling through Wizz, minding my own business, replying to the huzz, just doing my own thing. Until I saw this guy. And for privacy reasons, we're going to call him Joshua. Now, Joshua, if you are watching this, I am so sorry. Anyways, Joshua. So, I thought Joshua was really cute. He had the brown curly hair. He was a skater, and I was like, damn. I want that cookie so bad. I was like, let me have a piece of that. So, he liked a lot of the music that I did, and we had similar hobbies and stuff like that. We really hit it off. We hit it off crazy fast. This guy was literally the boy version of me. My friends know how I am and stuff like this. He was literally the guy version of me, carbon copy, down to even family issues and stuff like that. He was the carbon copy of me. And, he was cute. So I was like, all right, I totally tapped that. But so I didn't think anything would happen. Because usually when I talk to these dudes, I never really went through with anything. And I never, they would be like,
Yeah, you want to hang out?
And I'd be like,
yeah, let's totally hang out.
And it would never happen. It would never happen. So it's I wasn't planning on anything to actually come out of this. So, that's the crazy part. Anyways, we started talking. We talked for a week. And eventually we planned to meet up. Again, I wasn't really too serious until I realized he was being serious. And I was like, okay. So we're planning this hangout, and I find out he lives an hour away. He lives on the north side of town, and I live more on the north.
Never eat soggy waffles.
So I kind of lived on the southwest side of town. He lived on the north side of town, and he had to drive. It would be an hour drive. It would be an hour drive to come see me, but he was an idiot, and so was I. So we were totally willing to do that. We were totally willing. to drive that distance, which is crazy. So yeah, we talked for a week and we planned on hanging out and stuff. He brought up at the time that I should sleep over. And you know, me being me, obviously, we wouldn't have this channel if I made sane decisions. So this was not a sane decision. I decided, oh yeah, after a week of talking to this dude, I totally trust him. I'm gonna go have a sleepover with him. Are we
Crazy?
Are we crazy? What was I thinking? The only thing is that my mom does not allow me to hang out with boys. She doesn't. Any normal parent would not let their girl hang out with a dude that they just met on Instagram a week ago. But, you know, me. I was crazy. So what did I decide to do? I decided to lie my ass off. I decided, yeah, you want to know what? I'm going here with my two friends, Athena and Lily. Yeah, that's what we're doing. I'm gonna go here and I'm sleeping over at their house. We're having a sleepover. That's what I told her. I told her that me, Athena, and Lily were gonna go downtown, and we were gonna have a good time, and then I was gonna go sleep over at her house. Shout out to those people who let me lie on their name. Y'all are brave. Another thing that I have to mention, this guy didn't live in a house. Joshua lived in a trailer at a trailer park, again, an hour away. So, I mean, you could say I was pretty stupid. I gave this guy my full address so he could go to my house. You know, he could have pulled up with like a shotgun and just shot everybody. He could have went and shot everybody, but that possibility didn't go through my head. So the fateful day arrives. By this point, it is January 6th. I was nervous. I was really nervous. This was the first date with a guy that I'd ever gone on. I was scared. And, like, it was a guy that I only talked to for a week. So it's like, oh, that's even worse. I didn't want to get caught by my mom, so I told him to park up the street. As if that was going to do anything. I just didn't want his car to be seen on the Ring cameras. As if that was going to do anything. I made it 10 times harder than it should have. Yeah, I had him park up the street. So the day came, I left, told my parents, you know, hey, I'm going. Won't be back till this time tomorrow. They're like, okay, cool. So I leave the house and I'm going up the hill and I see his car and he gets out of the car and I'm like, already, I'm like, dude, I told him 30 minutes before. I was like, don't get out of the car. I don't want, just in case if they come and watch me while I'm walking out, which again has never happened, but I planned for the worst case scenarios. So, you know, if my parents would have walked out and seen me walking up to this car, I would have been cooked. So I'm walking up to this car, I see him, and he opens the car door for me, which was sweet. I was like, thanks, Joshua. So I get in the car, he opens up the car door for me, I get in, and it's like real quiet. So he gets in the car, and immediately we're like too scared to look at each other. So I'm like, salutations, huz? Those were the first words I ever said to him. Salutations, huz. Salutations, huz. Can I be any more awkward? This car, by the way, his car looked like it was somebody who worked at a Pizza Hut and then chain smoked cigarettes in their downtown. Like, that is... His car literally looked like somebody who worked at a Pizza Hut and then chain smoked cigarettes in their free time. It was a cigarette car. After the whole salutations huz thing, he turns and he looks at me and he's like,
Salutations.
Salutations. You guys are allowed to cringe, by the way. So we basically drive all the way up to his trailer in almost like complete silence. We're like talking and he turned on the playlist that I had on Spotify, my like 10,000 hour playlist at the time. He was playing it in the car, which I thought was nice. We stopped at a Goodwill and we went thrifting for a little bit, and then we encountered his step-grandma, and that's how his parents found out about me, but that's his story for a different time. But yeah, I saw his grandmother there, said hi. Eventually we wrapped it up and we were like, all right, let's go back to your trailer. Right. So we get in the car after Goodwill and we go to his trailer. We get there at 1:00. And honestly, like, it was a lot smaller than what I envisioned. When we got out, and I was like, when we got out, and I, like, saw it in the person, yeah, it was a lot smaller than what I envisioned. But, so we're getting out of the car, he turns to me, and he's like,
The reason I live in a trailer is because I emancipated from my parents. My dad, he's no good. My mom, she lives up in Kansas.
and I was like, okay. I just nod and I smile and, like, you do the, smile and wave. Great. So he gets out and he walks up the little stairs to the door, and he opens the door, and I am just met with the nastiest smell. This shit genuinely smelled like pickles. Rotten pickles. That's literally how I can describe it. It smelled like rotten pickles inside. And I had to try so hard to keep my mouth shut. I had to try so hard to just and just not barf all over the carpet because it was just so freaking nasty. And you walk inside, and his shit is just a rundown some zoomies in fucking Jamaica. That's just what that was the decor. It was zoomies in Jamaica. How those two mix, don't know. He had, like, these, like, creepy masks, like, on the walls, and he was like telling me they were from Haiti or something. Like, he spent like 10 minutes telling me about these masks on the wall, and I'm trying to pay attention, but I cannot get over
The rank, rotten pickle smell.
like, I'm just sitting there and I'm trying my best to listen about this fucking mask from Haiti or Tofiti or wherever it's from, and, like, dude, I just can't. I go to the back of his trailer, and back there we have the bunk beds, we have the bathroom, and then we have the table. So I sit at the table and I put my purse down and all this stuff, and we sit and we chat for 30 minutes, and I get used to the smell eventually. And he mentions, he's like, oh yeah, do you want to go get the vodka? And I was like, vodka? Oh yeah, right. We made plans on drinking that night. I'm like, yeah, where do we get the vodka? He's like, oh, my friend Butters. He's like, oh yeah, my friend Butters has it. We're gonna go get it from him. So I was like, okay, cool. He's like, yeah, let's go get in the car. Let's go get it right now. And I'm like, all right, bet. So we hop in his car, and we drive maybe like 10 minutes down the road to his friend Butters' neighborhood. And Butters' neighborhood is really nice, so you would never suspect him participating in these hood rat activities. So, anyways, we get to his house. We pull up to Butters' house. He's already outside. And Joshua gets out. And he goes up to Butters, and Butters is standing, like, right by his, like, big black truck. And then, what is his name? Joshua, he walks over to Butters, and he's like,
yo, can I grab the alcohol?
And Butters is like, nah, we gotta go get it from my homeboy who works at the Taco Bell. Get in the car. And then Joshua's like, no, my girl's in the car. And he points back and he references me, and I'm just there. I'm watching, and I'm, like, terrified out of my mind because I'm like, dude, what the heck? And Butters is like, oh, no problem. Follow me. He's gonna get off of his shift in 10 minutes. So Butters walks around his car and he gets into the driver's seat. He starts it up. And then Joshua comes back and he explains to me, he's like, okay, we're gonna get it from Butters' homeboy that works behind the Taco Bell. And I'm like, oh, who's the homeboy? He's like, oh, it's this, like, local tweaker that we know. He's, like, in his mid-30s. He's in his mid-30s, and, he works at Taco Bell, and he does, like, black tar heroin or something. I think he said it was heroin. And I was like, oh, okay. A tweaker at Taco Bell. We're gonna go get alcohol from a tweaker from Taco Bell.
And my mom has no idea where I am at any of this. I am an hour away. Butt-fuck out in the middle of nowhere. And you're telling me we gotta go meet a tweaker behind a Taco Bell to get some vodka? Are we dead us?
I'm, like, really hesitant at first because I'm like, yo, this is whack. But I'm like, okay, whatever. We ball. We're gonna do this. I just want to get drunk. We follow Butters down the road again to this Taco Bell, and it's, like, behind all these weird ass, like, shops, and you could tell it was in the ghetto. Like, it was in the ghetto. Like, there was homeless people around. They were doing some things. Like, you could tell it was a very rundown place. Butters parks on the side of Joshua. So then Joshua hops out the car, and then Butters hops out the car, And Butters lights up a cigarette and he's like, yo, how's life? And then fucking Joshua's answering. They're just small talk. It's just all small talk. They start small talking. And then suddenly, Butters goes in his car and he pulls out this, prescription pill. Luckily, I have an accurate representation. These are my sleep meds. These are my sleep medication. So he's like,
Yo.
He's like,
Yo, you want an Addy?
and then Joshua is like,
I mean, sure, I guess.
so Butters, pops open the thing, and he pulls out 2 of these Adderalls, and he hands it to Joshua, and Joshua puts them in his car. Anyways, that was just really interesting. You're doing a drug deal in front of your girlfriend. That's a great image. So, right, we're just waiting, and it was 20 minutes, and then this guy starts walking out, and this is just some big fucking burly dude, and he definitely looks like he looked like
he did steroids more than fucking heroin. Seriously.
but, you could tell he was definitely on some hard drugs. So, I mean, he's walking over, and he has this brown bag, and he's like,
Yeah, you, Joshua, you wanted it?
and Joshua's like,
Yeah, how much money?
the big guy. Yeah, this guy. He's
Like, oh, only 15.
15? What's in that alcohol? What is in that alcohol that makes it $15? Joshua ends up paying for it, and we put it in the what's it called? We put it in the little
pocket. What's that called? That's in the passenger seat. We put it in the little pocket that's in the passenger seat.
and we're like, okay, let's just go continue what we were planning on doing for the rest of the day. So we go about our day. We end up going downtown, going to this little antique store, and it was so cute. I love this antique store. We go to this antique store, and then after that, we go to, this little bowling place that was, down the road, and we went bowling, and that was pretty fun. We also went to Chili's, and we got some food, and it was some real good food. It was some freaking great food. And, nothing was wrong. Nothing bad happened. Except this freaking dude. He didn't know how to look me in the freaking eye. Nonetheless, hold my hand. He couldn't hold my hand. He couldn't do shit. I had to force him to hold my hand. That is how shy he was. I was not putting up with it. But, patience is a virtue. Everything went smoothly. We had dinner. And we decided to stop at Walmart to pick up some snacks because we were going to watch The Hangover, which is one of my favorite movies. We picked up the snacks, and we head back to his trailer. Again, I had to deal with the rank smell. We turned on the movie, and we sat on the couch, and that's when he, first tried to, cuddle. He put his arm around me awkwardly, and then I started, leaning on him, and, we were, just being awkward. And we wait for 30 minutes to let our food settle, but then we got impatient. We were like, yeah, we want a drink. So he goes in the little cupboard that he has, and he pulls out these 2 shot glasses, and they're green and they're glowing. And he's like,
Oh yeah, my grandma got these. They're made out of uranium.
and I'm like, what the fuck? That's some weird ass shit. I kind of fuck with the weirdos, not gonna lie. But anyways, he pulls out these glasses, and we pour up the first shot. We drink it. We go sit back down, and we wait for another 15 minutes, and then we're like, okay, let's go get another shot. Each shot that we took, we got a little bit more comfortable with each other. I remember at one point, I had to use the restroom, and I went to this restroom, and I realized that he had
No toilet paper.
so I had to use a paper towel. Fast forward, 5th shot. We're 5 shots deep. And he asked me, he's like,
Do you want to stop after this?
and I'm like, no, I want to drink the whole thing. We had about half the bottle at this point, and I was like, no, I want to drink the whole thing. We continued to drink the whole thing. Now, disclaimer, this is when my memory gets a little hazy. And this is also when things get a little crazy as well. Hey, that rhymed. So this is when my memory gets a little hazy for obvious reasons. So we took the 6th shot, and that's genuinely when I couldn't hold myself upright anymore. I was stumbling around, and I couldn't tell what the fuck was going on. He fell on the floor at one point, and then I think I fell on top of him, and I think that's where we first kissed. I don't remember. But I know it happened like that. Like, I know it happened like that because I remember, like, we wouldn't have just started kissing for no reason. Right before we were about to take the 7th shot, I think he pulled out his, like, pen, his Benjamin. And, if you really think that sober me is bad at making decisions, drunk me is, like, 10 times worse at making decisions. So I was like, give me that! He was like, oh, I don't know if you want to hit this or not. And I was like, give it to me! So I grabbed it out of his hands and I ripped that shit. Bad fucking idea, because after that, dude, I'm gone. I barely remember anything after this. I think he took his pen back. And I'm like on his couch. I remember I was like on his couch and I'm just yelling about something. And yeah, we took the last shot eventually. I don't remember getting in his bed because originally we were supposed to sleep. I was supposed to sleep in the bunk beds and he was just supposed to sleep in his bed. It's supposed to be just a sleepover. But I don't remember how I got in his bed, nor do I remember falling asleep. Like I said, that pen hit just took me the fuck out. Here's when things get confusing and a little strange. So I wake up next to Joshua. And I'm the first one awake. And I turn over, I roll on him and stuff. And, like, I think at this point we're just so comfortable with each other. Getting drunk is just a very, it's a bonding moment, especially between new couples. Such a bonding moment.
So, yeah, I roll over on him and I'm just like, good morning. I'm, like, caressing his hair and stuff. Until I fucking realize as soon as he puts his hand on my thigh, I'm like, shit!
I don't have any pants on. What the fuck happened last night? What the fuck happened last night to where my pants were not on? And I'm starting to freak out. I'm like, why are my pants not on? Dead ass. And he kind of like notices. He's like,
oh, I don't have a belt on. And I'm like,
no, you're lying. So I'm like, dude, you better shut your eyes while I get up and I search for my pants. So I get up and I notice I'm still drunk from the night before. And I grab the nearest blanket and I wrap it around me and I'm like, yeah, don't look while I go look for my pants. My pants
were on the other side of his fucking trailer.
How did they get there? That's not the only thing. My phone was on the other side of the trailer. Everything was on the other side of the trailer, which is why I'm like, shit. What happened? And I look around as I'm getting up and I'm like looking for my pants, I notice like the vodka bottle, it's in a random freaking pot on the stove. And there's, like, shit all over the table, and it's, like, sticky, and there's food all over the ground. And I go to the bathroom to go put on my pants. There's, like, throw up all over the toilet seat. And I'm like, one of us threw up last night. One of us did. And he was like,
oh, it was probably me.
And I'm like, that's great. Luckily, we woke up at a decent time. I think it was, like, 8 o'clock. So, I mean, I had enough time to get home. Like I said, it was an hour drive home. And my parents wanted me home at very specific times. So, and they got mad if I didn't. So, I mean, it was good that I woke up at a decent time. But yeah, and then I check all over me because I'm like wanting to see. I want to see if like there are any trace evidence left behind. So I look all over my arms and like my legs, and I'm just covered in bruises and scratches and just all the good stuff. I don't know what happened last night. I woke up with no pants. I got a big ass scratch on my arm and like 50 bruises on my legs. Like, what the fuck happened? What the fuck happened? So I helped him clean up his trailer after that, and eventually he took me home. I went home drunk. I don't know if my mom knew. I don't think she did. So that was the worst decision I probably have ever made in my life. I still don't know what happened that night. He doesn't know either. Quite frankly, I don't want to know what happened that night.
I have the drunk video. Well, I had the videos.
Because I take videos when I get drunk. I take lots of videos. So I checked the videos and I was embarrassing. Definitely cheap liquor. So if there's any lesson to be learned here, it's that to never, ever, ever meet up with a dude that you met on wizz a week prior, and to never drink cheap liquor because you don't know what's gonna happen the next day. And just don't trust randos on wizz. Just don't fucking do that. So yeah, I hope you guys like that story time. There's definitely more to this dude. There's more stories with Joshua, but if you just like my story in general, just like and subscribe. I literally have stories 4 days. This is Ash X After Hours. Peace out.